And welcome back to the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Stern, coming to you live from Jacksonville, Florida. The song before that was Hip Hop Array, Naughty by Nature. A song that, for those who have listened back in 2013, used to be my opener. So it's pretty cool that I bring that song in complete. It's a great 90s track. Love it. Again, thank you so much for listening to the Spicy Sports Show with Sam Stern, coming to you live from Jacksonville, Florida. A little bit different. Again, Elizabethtown, Pennsylvania, Portland, Oregon, and now Jacksonville. It's pretty exciting. So, without further ado, let's talk about some basketball. Yes, I do wish I was a little bit taller, but, wish I could be in the league. Can't. Not really that good of a shooter, except for threes. Can drain them from deep. Anyway, let's go out some scores from the league here right now. We're going in the fourth quarter with 5:26 remaining. The Raptors are behind the Hornets 85-82. Looks like at halftime in the Madison Square Garden, you do have the Rockets and the Knicks playing. Rockets 56, Knicks 42. Knicks 5-33 on the season. Looks like they're going to be shutting down Carmelo Anthony for the rest of the season. Doesn't look good. Again, the Knicks don't look like they're going to be making the playoffs in a terrible Eastern Conference. I think a lot of trades have been going on because of that. More to talk about the Knicks later. At 10:30 Eastern, you do have the Heat and the Trailblazers live on TNT. Heat, not so good this season, 15-20. Right now, we're not sure if Dwayne Wade's going to play. The Trailblazers, 27-8. One of the best teams in the Western Conference at this time. Looking at the Eastern Conference, you do have the Atlanta Hawks, 27-8, 2.5 games over the Toronto Raptors for the second spot in the East. We have third would be Chicago, same thing, 2.5 games. Washington is the 4 seed, 3 games back at 24-11. The Cleveland Cavaliers, the LeBron-less Cleveland Cavaliers, 19-17, 8.5 back of the top spot in the East. Milwaukee 6, Brooklyn 7, and Miami hanging on to that 8 spot at 15-20. In the Western Conference, you do have Golden State, the best team in basketball this time, 28-5, winners of 5 in a row, 7 out of their last 10 games. Portland 27-8, 2 games behind the Golden State Warriors. Portland Trailblazers 2 games back. Memphis, you have 4 games back, 25-10 on the season. Dallas and Houston, 26-11 and 24-11 respectively, 4 and 5 games back. You do have the Clippers in the 6th spot, San Antonio in the 7th spot, and Phoenix in the 8th spot at 22-16, 8.5 back of the top spot in Golden State. It's pretty exciting with basketball because you never know what's going to happen every season. But you know 2 things for certain. You know that the West is going to be deep. You have several teams from the West that could probably get into the Eastern Conference playoffs. You have New Orleans, Oklahoma City. Look at that. Oklahoma City's on the outside looking in 17-19 right now. I'd say they would probably be the 7th seed in the East. Think about that for a second. It's pretty crazy to think about that. And the fact that Oklahoma City could miss the playoffs? Playoffs? Talk about playoffs? Yes, playoffs. It's pretty crazy to think that. And then looking at some of the trades this week, it's interesting how the Cavs especially, again, right now they're sitting in the 5 spot in the East. Bringing LeBron James back, all the hype. Can they make it to the NBA Finals first season? My first thought, I remember hearing this, I was getting off a plane in July, landing in New York City, and then hearing a guy on the plane say, LeBron's coming back to Cleveland. Great. My first thought is, who does he have around him? In Miami, obviously, you had Dwayne Wade and you had Chris Bosh, 2 players who were the best at their position. But in Cleveland, since LeBron left, you probably have maybe had one pretty good player in Kyrie Irving, who has had a hard time staying healthy. And if you look at the roster with the trades that they've done this season, 11 players, 11, are new to the Cleveland roster this season. They weren't on it last year. So obviously that's going to bring a lot of issues when it comes to maintaining continuity, maintaining teamwork, and maintaining that success overall. A couple of Cavs trades going on this week. J.R. Smith going to the Cavs. It's going to be a pretty interesting trade considering the fact that New York gave him away for not a lot. And then you look at Timofey Mozgov, who the Cavs got from the Nuggets. And they gave away 2 first-round picks. Now, let's be real for a second. How many people probably know Timofey Mozgov? Very few. But because of the injury to Anderson Varejao, they're going to need someone that can play defense. If you look at the stats for Cleveland defensively, the bottom 7 in the league for the most important categories: field goal percentage, points per game, all those stats. Bottom 7. I don't know many teams that can really perform well in the postseason if they don't have a great defense. Defense wins championships is not just a saying, aka Seattle Seahawks a couple of years in their Super Bowl last season. And then what they gave up for Cleveland in this trade is pretty interesting. So it looks like Cavs are going to send a future pick that they own from the Memphis Grizzlies from a 2013 trade that they acquired, and a first rounder from the Oklahoma City Thunder that they made earlier this week. With that was that they sent Dion Waiters over from Cleveland. And in addition, Mozgov, the Cavs are also going to get. In addition to Mozgov, the Cavs are going to get a 2015 second round pick. So what Mozgov, again, brings to the table is not offense. He's not really known for his offense. You look at his career stats, 6.4 points per game. This season, 8.5. But what he brings is defensive stability. 7.8 rebounds per game, a little over a block per game. That's better than most of the interior players for Cleveland right now. So again, I don't know. Again, LeBron James has missed 18 games, or I apologize, 7 games this season. Throughout his career in Cleveland, the first stint, which was I believe was 2003 to 2010, he missed 18 games. 18 games in 7 years versus 7 already this season and counting, because he's probably not going to play for another week. So can LeBron and the Cavs carry this team to the Eastern Conference Finals? Maybe. He's done it before with a lesser cast. I think that the team that you do have around Cleveland is a little bit better than the team that he carried in 2007. I mean, look, if you saw that roster, it was awful. It was dreadful. But I think this team has the potential to get to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, let's take a look at their roster now. That is, it has 11 different players on it. Obviously, the acquisition of Kevin Love was very huge, sending Andrew Wiggins to Minnesota in exchange for that. Let's look at the starting 5 at this point in time. Right at the point guard position, you have Kyrie Irving, obviously. Shooting guard, you have J.R. Smith, Iman Shumpert, that they acquired from New York. So Iman Shumpert and J.R. Smith, again, Shumpert's more of a defensive stopper. J.R. Smith shoots like crazy. You'll have those games with J.R. Smith that just say, this is why Cleveland got him. But a lot of times, you're going to get the why did they trade for J.R. Smith in the first place. If J.R. Smith can shoot consistently, which he never really has over his career, but if he is somehow able to, maybe this Cleveland team can get better. Yeah, obviously Kevin Love in the power forward position, Sean Marion as a backup. Right now, Tristan Thompson is the starting center. I think that's going to change. Timofey Mozgov may take over that starting spot now that Varejao out for this season. And at small forward, you do have LeBron, of course, but Mike Miller is starting in his place because LeBron is sitting. So it is pretty interesting to see whether Cleveland can make this happen. So again, just looking at the Eastern Conference at this point, how many people thought that Atlanta, the Hawks, would be 27-8 on the season? Right now, they're 10-2 against the Western Conference. It's pretty impressive considering the West is one of the deepest conferences. Again, it's only 2 conferences, but it's really deep. I mean, from 1 to about 10, you have competitive teams. And they beat a Memphis Grizzlies team who's one of the most physical teams in the NBA, no question. And they beat them by 10. I think the youth of this team mixed in with a good group of veteran shooters is probably one of the reasons I can see Atlanta getting to the Eastern Conference Finals. I mean, look at their lineup right now. You have Jeff Teague, who is, I believe, he's had a couple years in the league. He came out of Georgia Tech a couple of years ago. This is his fifth year, and he's having a career year. 17 points a game, 7 assists, 2 rebounds, which is 6 points up from his career numbers points-wise, 2 points up from his assist, and almost a rebound per game increase. It's pretty impressive what Jeff Teague has done in terms of modifying his game to facilitate those around him. Kyle Korver, who's always been known for he is the true definition of a shooting guard. He really does shoot the ball from 3. He lights it up. Paul Millsap, again, the acquisition that they had a couple years ago as a free agent from Utah. Very good. Al Horford, who's probably one of the best centers in the league, and one of the most athletic centers in the league. He can run the floor. He can space it. And, of course, DeMar Carroll that came out of Missouri at small forward. I think that mix, I mean, if you look on the bench as well, you have Thabo Sefolosha that used to be playing in Oklahoma City as a small forward backup to Carroll. You have Shelvin Mack, the former Butler product, Kent Bazemore, John Jenkins for this backup to shooting guard. You have Elton Brand and Adrian Payne on this roster as a backup for power forward. This lineup is pretty good. It's pretty deep as well, which is what's going to be helpful for Atlanta throughout this stretch. Right now, they are projected to go 63-19 based off this record right now, which would be by far probably the best in the East, maybe the best in the NBA. Toronto, number 2, 24-10 on the season. Not many people really thought of Toronto